Oh, so that makes sense too. I'm probably going to get a few comments in the thing. I didn't even have the audio turned on over there. See what happens when I rely on technology? It's awesome. Give me just a second, everybody, to pull up the Restream chat. I'm probably not reading anything that you're posting, and I want to make sure we get that.
All right.
They'll tell me. There's probably 4 chats right now that says. No audio. Okay, well, it is what it is. And I said that earlier. There we go. We already got 4 people in chat. So I apologize. Our audio was not working. But there we go. And I'll switch back to this. You guys let me know if we're 5x5 out there. Check, check, check. And Man Cave's a little dark. That shot's a little dark. I didn't turn on many lights down there, you know?
Perfect. Well, they can turn on lights. Well,
yeah.
Turn on some lights down there.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff said to blame the intern.
Blame the intern?
I do blame the intern. That guy.
I got a new friend over here.
You do have a new friend. You know what, Patrick? Hold that guy up there, because I found him. I was cleaning in the back area, and that is a stormtrooper with no arms.
Yep.
And from what we're looking at, we can clearly see that he is
unarmed.
So I put that in your area. I was like, Patrick's going to like this one.
Yeah, perfect.
Vince, will you grab my 2 news?
Yeah.
My 2 new ones. Please. Both the new ones, buddy. They're in the safe. The new ones, bro. I don't want to give it away. Don't make me give it away.
So tonight is, today is National Margarita Day.
Margarita Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in honor of that, we're going to have a margarita later.
Absolutely.
Or sooner. Maybe sooner than later.
I'm working on my
your Disaronno?
My normal glass, but yeah. I would gladly.
You would gladly.
I would gladly.
Gladly.
I've got a T-shirt design. I can't give it away, Patrick. I got a T-shirt plan just for you, buddy.
Yeah.
And I was telling Vince about it today, and I'm like, I got to keep my mouth shut. So I'm just telling you. You know, I've told you about a few T-shirts, but I had one today. I was like, I went and bought the paint, and so let's see. I got to work on the computer now because of the mix-up with this crap. There. Oh, Grandma's tuning in from. She said, "Nice, clearly seeing your nice, clearly unarmed."
Yeah.
She saw it. Tuning in from Arizona. So I got the overhead. So this is my brain. What do you got for me, buddy? I'll take that one, and I'll take that one. There we go. Now, we can be friends again.
Yeah, don't have it pointing at your gut, though. Please.
That one's definitely unloaded.
Yeah.
But I messed with the shirt. You guys can see the overhead of it. This is my brain.
Yep.
You can pull the clips out of there. It's showing up pretty good on the video, I think.
Yeah.
So I got some fabric paint, and then I hand painted some other stuff on there. But I'm going to start working on, because I'm so frustrated that we can't put out any, just short-term stuff. I'm going to work on more T-shirts and more ideas like that. I've got some really cool ideas. But I'm just going to start doing it. I'm going to start manufacturing. I can reproduce this without having to have, $8,000 worth of equipment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the only spot that nobody cares, but I messed up right there.
Yeah, the R is a little bit,
Yeah.
It looks like it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah. So there it is.
Yep.
So I'd be wearing it, but I was busy. So there's a T-shirt for you. There. We're good to go. Let's go with since we're sitting here waiting for Vince. Anyways, before we get into it fully, we went gun shopping the other day, and I got a new, this is a Walther PPS with a red dot on it. And the red dot's still good. I'm glad he grabbed it out of the thing, because I showed Al earlier. And it, no, it went off. pounds. Anyways, it's a
I gotta figure it out.
yeah, it's still new to it. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a brand new 9mm concealed carry, and I really like that. Would you like to see that, Patrick?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Hand it to you. And then the other one that I got is a
Nice.
it's a 22 caliber long barrel revolver, and this is a single shot, single action, and very nice. So we went gun shopping in honor of President's Day. There will soon be a video out, because we recorded everything when we went out to do the video, or went out to do the shopping, and so it's a little tough on that release. Are you trying to
Yeah. That's weird. Doesn't go back far enough.
to lock it in?
Yeah.
No, it should.
They sent me that in a little 3D printed case.
Okay.
What are you hitting? Were you trying to hit that? Or no, you're hitting that?
No, this right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So there's that one. So we're gonna do a couple more things here on the thing, but
Is that a 22?
it is a 22. So here's the verify that it's empty, and then there you go. The safety is on that. That is a 22 revolver,
Nice.
and that's how you load it. You side load it. That's a beautiful little gun. I can't wait to shoot
It's like
it.
a little,
Guns.
A can plinker.
yeah.
Yes.
I like it. Nice.
Getting brained, Mr. Lauder says. Yes. Guns. So, yeah, we went gun shopping. Vince had because all of us went in there in mass. They, for whatever reason, they put a hold on his gun, on his purchase. And so we got to go back another day. So disappointed that we're going to have to go back to the gun
Shit
shop.
happens.
Because they got a restaurant there, they got a barber shop, they got range, of course, a shooting range.
You talking about Huron Valley?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a nice spot.
yeah. So I'll text you when we decide to go back.
Yeah.
Because what we want to do is go back for breakfast, and they have a
As long as he doesn't say it, he's good.
what? We're gonna
The
go.
name.
Oh, nice. Well, there you go.
All right. Man cave.
Yeah, I guess I don't get my double shot. We're just having all sorts of fun with my equipment tonight. It literally didn't give me that shot. Why is that shot not working? Why is it black? Anyways, talk amongst yourselves. I have no clue.
Well, we always start with dinner. You know, dinner is
Yes, sir.
because it's National Margarita Day.
Nice.
Jeremy made fajitas, both chicken and steak,
Yes, sir.
which were freaking awesome.
That was my
I
honor.
had to have one of each, and then I decided to make my traditional salad, but it was kind of a Mexican flavor salad with the chips and the whole 9 yards.
It was excellent.
Like a nacho salad.
Nacho salad.
Nacho. It's
That's
nacho.
nacho salad.
It's nacho salad, man. Give it back.
the
Give
hell?
it back.
What?
He found a Pepe meme.
I know, I saw that. Okay, let's see if we get it right here. Oh, and I got to resize the box. Look, I don't know what's going on, man.
That's all right. That's just of us. We don't need a big one. Oh, there it goes.
There it goes. So
There
that's
I
what
am.
you, that's
That's me.
that is you.
Yep, you're all there, all by yourself.
I got nothing, dude. Like the logo's not working. Nothing's working. This is awesome.
Eh,
Watch, this is
Long
going
as
to be
we're
the
on.
video where you get like 300 views.
I know. It's like, let me
The whole
promo the
show
one that
was
I love
fucked
the
up.
most, you know? It's like, yeah. And,
we were having difficulties the whole show, and
oh,
That's the
now,
one
now
that
there's
went
the
out there.
background. The background's supposed to be in the whole thing, but only until I scroll down and it's not showing up the bottom. How stupid. This is what is annoying about technology. This is not my rant, but what the fuck? Yeah, and as soon as I go and switch, is it going to change up again? Anyways, all right, let's. So good fajitas tonight.
Yeah, dinner was awesome.
Yeah.
As always. It always is.
Well, I try.
I come here thinking, I'm just going to be, moderate. I'm not going to eat too much. And then I come up here going, oh, God. Oh, I wish I hadn't eaten that last one.
I always watch you go back for seconds
like,
and then thirds.
So good.
I go, all right, Patrick, pace yourself, man.
Yeah.
So you went for a chicken fajita first.
Yep.
Sweet peppers and sweet red onions.
Yeah.
And then came back for your salad,
Which
was excellent.
Yep.
And then came back for
The steak.
the steak fajitas.
Yeah.
Vince, what did you go for?
I only had enough time for one chicken fajita.
One chicken fajita.
Mm.
Only enough time. I mean, we can,
burrito,
Yeah.
fajita burrito.
we can go back down. Are you packing, buddy? Let's get that on the
Am I
table.
packing?
Are you packing? Let's get that on the table.
What kind of question is that?
Just a question.
Is this America?
It is America.
Yeah, thanks God it's not Canada.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
Trucker travesty, the bullshit going on with there. Yeah, so good dinner,
Yeah.
as
awesome.
always. We love to cook dinner. So I got to get you over here in the next couple weeks so we can record at least one of the cooking shows with you
Yeah.
and get that in the can. But Vince has been, unless I drag him out and we go shopping for guns, he's been hard at work editing, putting the videos together. I wish we had a couple.
Trying to keep at it, but
Yeah. So if you guys get a chance out there, go over to Man Cave Makers. Just type in Man Cave Makers on YouTube. We have our intro video. We don't have anything else loaded up yet, but we're about to load up 2 or 3 videos of stuff we've made in the man cave. Vince is pretty close. I watched the preview tonight. He's really, really close on the trophy. The trophies that we modified for the Super Bowl party for the chili cook-off. And those are about ready. We had a blast with those. And then we've got a couple outro videos that we're messing around with. And then we have this other project that we did, the what do you call it? The shoe locker,
Shoe
closet shoe cabinet. That's about ready to go.
shoe cupboard.
Shoe cupboard, cutboard,
Cupboard.
cut. Is cutboard.
I always say cupboard,
Cupboard, but it's
cupboard.
cutboard.
Board.
Cup.
Yeah.
Cupboard.
Cupboard.
Is it cupboard?
Cupboard.
Cupboard. It's kaboom.
He dropped a bomb and cupboard.
Cupboard. It was the board come flying at my face. Anyways. It's going to be fun tonight. So we're working on some of that stuff. So after that, let's get to some. Here's our list. You know what? I have to go over here and pull that up. So let's pick a couple, and I will go to my folder.
What's the best video length?
Video length
Because most of the ones I watch are between like 15 and 20 minutes.
for a project video.
Yeah.
You're asking. You're polling the audience now.
I guess comment if you know.
Yeah.
You know,
What's
what's the best video length? Like, what are you willing to watch and sit there and watch all the way through?
Yeah, don't ask me. Do not ask me. Because if I don't have...
I'll pretty much throw anything on that's somebody making something.
My problem is that I will... if I don't see a video that's not long enough, I don't even like to watch it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like...
Because you're going to have to watch a 30-second ad to watch the video.
Exactly.
And the video's
It's
only
like,
2
dude,
minutes long, and there's going to be 5 more ads
I'm like,
at the
I
end.
want to... If I don't see the video... Some of the groups that I watch, I'm like, dude, this is a 5-minute video. I want a 25 or an hour or 3. When I see one that's like 4 or 5 hours, I get excited. I'm like, because if you put in 4 or 5 hours of content, I'll know in the first 10 minutes if in the first 10 minutes you've got me hooked, then I've got 5 hours of content to just devour. It's like, if I take that first bite of steak and it's just melting in my mouth, I know the rest of that whole steak is going to be phenomenal. I'm going to be chewing on the bone and bursting at the gut. That's what I look at it for me. So I don't like these short ass videos. I had a buddy of mine years ago. He's like, "Oh, you got to do these quick splash videos, and people only have a long enough. They only have this much attention span." And I go, "I don't agree with that."
Dead,
I don't agree with that.
People that don't pay attention.
People have a short attention
looking
span.
at stuff.
I believe. Well, I watched a video. In fact, I'll say this: I watched a video the other day. Okay. And it was somebody sent it to me. Maybe you did or Kim did or something like that. But it was on kids with attention deficit or kids with something along that lines, right? And they're sitting in front of a screen watching a bunch of math shit. And the kids are fidgeting and they're scrolling around their chairs and they're doing this and they're doing that, right? And the same kid the next day sitting in front of a video game. Not playing the video game, just watching the video game or whatever it was, right? But it was something engaging. And he's sitting still, just zoned in. I'm like, people don't have a short attention span. You're not tapping into what they're interested in. And here's the case in point. When I'm doing a 5-hour or 6-hour video that I found from somebody that I subscribe to, or I found it on, a link to it or whatever, and a lot of times I'm not watching it. If something pops up and I want to see that part of it, but a lot of times I'm listening to the content. I'm listening to the dialogue. That's why I love audiobooks. Dude, I could go through 2 full-blown novels in a week. Working. I'd be working, doing whatever job I was doing, framing, doing countertops, whatever it was. I'm going through 2 full-blown novels. Focused on what I'm doing my job. But I got that audiobook in my ear the whole time. So, and I know I'm not a pariah. I'm not that strange, Yeah. So it's a matter of tapping into where people are at. And if you got to do a 5-minute, 2-minute splash video, it's like maybe, your content's not that appealing. Anyways, who wants to start?
To argue is a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to the dead. That would be Thomas Paine.
That was Thomas Paine.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thomas.
All right, and I'm going to cut back now. I'm going to cut back to us. So we got Thomas Paine. I'm going to check that off the list. And that was one you blessed me with, Patrick, to argue. Vince, pick one, and I'll scroll to it, and then I'll switch to you. What do you want? The list is right there, buddy.
Second Amendment. It's his perfect one.
Yeah, I'll do the second minute.
Okay, buddy. Clear it out, buddy. Next time, like shield yourself. Yeah.
That's the drink.
Is that the drink?
In my mustache, yeah.
Okay.
Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Shall not be infringed.
When they
December 15th, 1791.
Yeah. When does it expire?
Never.
Fucking never.
Never, ever.
And I will go with, I'll go back to number 1.
I was going to say, wouldn't that go over well in Canada right now?
It would go over in Canada.
It would if they had a Second Amendment, yeah.
They don't have a Second Amendment. That's one of the difficulties of a lot of people, is they don't have a Second Amendment.
But I think even here, we have the same issue, because we're already not allowed to take them anywhere near Washington, D.C.
Or places that need to be defended the most.
Places, yeah.
Put up a note.
Telling my buddy the other day.
Put up a gun-free zone sign in front of an elementary school. Every one of those teachers, custodians,
or better yet,
put
a gun-free
principals.
zone sign, right?
Yeah.
In front of a military boot camp.
You put up a gun-free zone in there. I want every one of those teachers that want to. Now that's another story, I saw a meme the other day and it said, if your kid's a fucking moron, it was along those lines. They might not have used my vernacular. It's like, if your kid's a fucking moron, thank the teachers union.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I saw that.
It was like, yeah, exactly. But It's like, dude, the teacher in our most vulnerable places, that's where people need to be armed. And isn't it ironic? They won't let you carry into court when you have to go to court.
Yeah, you can't even take your cell phone in.
The whole court is protected by armed police. Mm-hmm. The whole court.
And fucking cameras
But
everywhere.
you can't carry in there.
Yep.
Well, why don't we have armed police at our schools?
Yep.
Why don't the police sit there at the schools? Not in a menacing way, sitting at the door. How you doing, kids? They could put a police officer at every door. And you know what? If there's some incident that happens in town, they can answer the radio and one of them can go attend to it.
Yep.
Instead of them patrolling around like a bunch of fucking
that in like 1980s and
parasites.
90s movies.
Yeah.
How about they attach the school or the police department to the school? You know, I mean, they're both public buildings, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think armed gunmen would go into a...
No, there would be no school shootings, or it would be very brazen school shootings, but it wouldn't be this
well, you can use the same
gun-free
argument
zone
with
fucking
every
walk in the
single
door.
one.
Huh?
You can use the same argument with every single, different type of place that is a gun-free zone or whatever.
Yeah.
Second Amendment privileged.
Yeah.
Or whatever bullshit they make up.
See,
Like, why would you not be allowed to carry a concealed weapon when you're going to church?
you do have the discretion, churches do have the discretion to say,
Everything that's on the list
bring it in.
of places you're not allowed to carry concealed,
Yeah. Are the places that are
every
most
single
vulnerable?
one of them has had a mass shooting in the last 10 years.
But wasn't it a church
that's
down
just-
in North Carolina where some gunman came in there and started shooting up the place? And
Yeah, because
five,
nobody's allowed to carry it. It was a guy down the street.
But five parishioners pulled out their sidearm and just wasted it.
Well, the one in Texas, the guy in
Was it in Texas?
Texas, that was the one where the guy went out into his truck, and because he had a practice of not keeping his AR-15 loaded, he had to take the time to load his AR-15. Not just load it, like load the magazine and then put the magazine in it. And then he tracked the guy down and shot him.
Oh.
So, yeah, when you get to the essence of the Second Amendment, it was never about hunting. It was always about self-protection, protecting yourself, your family, your possessions, and your nation. Mm-hmm. That's why there's no comma there when we read that. You know, a well-regulated militia being necessary to a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. There's no distinction between those two. And the militia's been able to be vilified all this time by so many malcontents and idiots that we have a improper view of the militia. And, the FBI has been the one that's infiltrated the most into those places and fucked them up. But the militias were exactly who fought the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
They were the ones who fought the War of 1812. They were the ones who fought the French and Indian Wars. They were the ones who fought... it was the French and Indian Wars before that. Because I just read Washington was the French and Indian. But there was another war after 1812. Then there was the Mexican-American Wars, okay, where we got... Arizona, New Mexico, and California. Mm-hmm. There was also... Then we got into the... Civil War. Those were all militias that were called up to serve. In fact, in our Constitution, it says that we're not supposed to have a standing army. Well, I'm sorry, we have a standing army. And the one way that they perpetuate a standing army is to create conflicts throughout the world that necessitate us having a standing army. No.
We were prescribed Minutemen.
Right.
Which meant you can go about your life, but you need to be ready at a minute's notice. Less than a minute. Exactly.
And they knew that World War I, World War II, the best snipers that they looked for.
Farm boys.
Were farm boys. Exactly right, Patrick. Farm boys who knew how to hunt and kill for the family because when it mattered, they could hit a target. Mm-hmm. You got to feed your family. You got to take care of business, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't come home empty. You can't come home empty-handed because the family starve.
Yeah.
So they went and they said, all right, we're going to draft these guys and we're going to look for the farm boys. Because we know they know how to shoot and we're going to put them in sniper training, give them a little bit more training, a little bit more, technique, and then send them into battle.
Yep.
And if you go back to that, that's where we all needed to be. I love the fact that my boys are well trained and know how to shoot. I love it. And Patrick and I have been talking about it for a while. We got to go shooting, buddy.
They tell you what Tay said
What
when
you
we
say?
got back from the gun shop?
What do you say?
I was like, man, you weren't really into those handguns, like, are you like rifles more? And he goes, oh yeah, Dad, I'm a rifleman. And I was like, I just started laughing my ass off.
I'm a rifleman.
And then we went outside and shot BB guns.
Yeah, he's got the BB gun, the pellet gun, the airsoft guns.
Gun, yeah.
Yeah. He likes to shoot those. Jeff was chiming in a little bit earlier about he said 15 minutes, maybe longer, if I really like what you're doing. Makes him want more. Exactly right. So I'll switch back. Notice this place is politically incorrect. We say Merry Christmas, one nation under God. We salute our flag, give thanks to our troops. If this offends you, you can get the fuck out.
Of here. Yep. Down the highway.
Head on down the highway. All right. Let's do this one together, gentlemen. Let's do this. Not that one.
Oh yeah.
Let's do this one together. And I'll switch. I'm out of my element. The intern fucked up and doesn't have all the stuff, so I'm having to switch on the fly. But
Go now.
But what doesn't kill you?
Will make you stronger.
Except for bears. Bears just fucking kill you.
They will kill you.
We were pretty close on that.
All I said, what doesn't, except for bears.
What doesn't kill you?
Bears will kill you.
Bears will kill you.
Yep.
Bears will fucking kill you, man. They don't.
What doesn't rip you into pieces.
What doesn't shred you into it? Yeah.
But bears will kill you.
Sure.
Bears will fucking kill you. I got to go to my good friend here. Right there it is. Let me go back. And Patrick.
Yeah, well, I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I can clearly see that you are unarmed.
Keep holding him because there, show him again.
No arms. No arms.
I can clearly see that you are
Unarmed.
Unarmed.
Shit. Hold him up again. There you go. I can clearly see that you are unarmed.
De-armed.
How do you handle
He's de-armed, disarmed, and unarmed.
Yeah. How do you handle a no-armed stormtrooper? Pretty good, because they can't even hit shit with arms. So
About the same.
about the same.
Yeah.
It's pretty easier. They're pretty easier.
Pretty easy. Pretty.
Pretty much the same.
Yeah, pretty much the same. All right, we got a couple more. We got to move on.
I like the never apologize, never explain.
I'm going to that one right now, buddy. That's you. Go.
It's a sign of weakness.
Never apologize, never explain. It's a sign of weakness.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were given that
From Grandma.
strategy to Joe Rogan a couple weeks back.
Yeah. I think he was baiting them, but you know what?
Joe's come back around though.
He has come back around.
I think he's too much of a. I mean, not too much that it's bad, but I'm saying he's too much in a sense that he's so serious, he knows they're gonna fucking take it the wrong way.
Right.
But
right.
he was genuine.
I think he was testing him.
So much that's pretty much what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
He's so much of a genuine guy that you can't even tell, when he's
fucking with you
telling
eloquently.
somebody to fuck off.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the problem with the left and those who have nefarious agendas is, well, not even those who have nefarious agendas. With the left, the minions of the left who are just brain dead. They don't get sarcasm. They don't. There was some guy that called into Harrison Smith's show the other morning. I think you heard it. Maybe not. Harrison Smith, and the guy's like, I think you need to cut back on the sarcasm. I'm like, you know what? Until you start your own fucking show that reaches millions of people, I think you should not offer advice on how the host should do his shit.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. Second, and Harrison had to go through it, and then like the next 10 calls were like, dude, fuck that guy.
Hey, Josh the troll.
Be fucking sarcastic. And Harrison was like, dude, I understand what you're saying. We shouldn't be sarcastic. You know, we should try to dial it back sometimes. But he's like, dude, how do you look at and he started reading his headlines again. And he's like, how do you look at this and look at this and look at this and not get sarcastic at time and go, oh my God, maybe we should just fucking walk off the side of the hill. You know, it's like, dude, at a certain point you go, really? This is the stupidest fucking thing we've ever seen, and you're going to tell me to dial back the sarcasm because people aren't taking you serious? Dude, if they're not taking this fucking serious right now, I mean, the right owns the meme world. We own it to the point that they're trying to shadow ban and outright ban anybody that they can that makes these great memes. You know why? Because the left can't come up with a meme because they don't know how to make fun of themselves. Right. The right knows how to make fun of themselves, because they're confident in who they are. The only way you can be truly self-deprecating is by knowing who you are. Oh, I see what you're doing there.
It's weed.
Did I just lose my
I mean, it's totally not weed.
We lost.
I just lost the screen. Yep, that's back.
Back.
That's back.
Good.
I'm trying not to pay attention to this shit because I literally, this is
yeah,
fucking useless. I can't even switch. All right, 2 last ones. Let's get them done so we can move on. Vince, go ahead.
It is easier to fool the people than to convince them they have been fooled.
Yeah.
Mark Twain, yeah.
Mark Twain. It's easier to fool people. And I was having this discussion with some people the other day, yesterday actually, after hockey. I was like, dude, you have discussions with people, and I go, it's harder for me to convince you that you've been fooled.
You know what that makes me think is the people that know there's more going on, that continue to act like there's nothing going on.
Right.
You know, they're running away from the truth. They're not just like turning their back on it.
Yeah.
They're running the other way because it I mean, I'm sure we can all attest, and everyone who's listening can all attest, that when you start knowing, discovering what the truth actually is, some things in life get a lot harder.
Yep.
Especially the first and foremost, dealing with the fucking truth.
Well, it's a biblical principle, but it's an adage that to whom much responsibility or much information is given, or much ability is given, much responsibility. You're given the ability, then you've got a responsibility. Yeah. To how's this? Did they do it in Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is with great responsibility
comes great,
or with great power comes great responsibility.
With great power comes great responsibility. That's what I was trying to get to. But there's a lot of times it's like, look, dude,
but not when the devil rules the world.
Well, but what it comes down to is, in the biblical principle, is the more you know, the more you're responsible to share that information with other people and inform them. And that's not always easy, because you've got to be tempered in that. Listen, if I've known this truth and walked it out for 20 years, I can't give it to you in 10 seconds and actually expect you to grasp it. If you've never, it's like somebody who runs marathons all their life. I got a buddy that I played hockey with, and he would run 5K, 10K marathons, right? Well, for him to talk to me for a minute about breathing techniques, I'm going to hear what he's saying, but I'm not going to grasp the totality of it. And I did. I talked to him. I'd say, dude, tell me about this shit. Yeah. How the fuck are you...
Explain it in so much detail that I can get to a certain point in your detailed story that I can put the rest together myself.
I sprint and want to pass out.
Yeah. And
you're running fucking 10K? Are you kidding me? So for him to explain to me in a 30-second, minute, 60-second conversation about his breathing techniques, I'm not going to grasp it. And that's what you got to understand, is when you've got that information, you've got that knowledge, you can't just give it to somebody all at once. Yeah. You've got to dole it out. You've got to be patient with people. You've got to do what you can to fill them in.
Sometimes it takes a bit for people to grasp what you're trying to give to them.
I think it, like, when you want to tell someone, at a certain point you think about it often enough, where you can strategically inject things into your conversations.
Yeah.
Well, this next one's yours.
It is mine.
Yep, you gotta read it.
Jeff said something about using my little gun to get the other guy's big gun. I think I pretty much have all big guns.
How about we use all 5 of our guns to get that guy's one gun?
Sarcasm, sometimes you have to laugh and to keep me from crying. Yeah, we gotta keep laughing. A long habit of not thinking a thing wrong gives it a superficial appearance of being right, and raises at first a formidable outcry in defense of custom. But the tumult soon subsides. Time makes more converts than reason. Thomas Paine, Common Sense, 1776. Time. I keep saying this, and I was talking to a couple of my friends, and I said, you know what? I keep saying this phrase over and over again, that time makes more converts than reason. You know? I'm just watching more and more people that are getting it, that are going, holy shit. You know?
If you don't want to listen to reason, then you're sure as hell going to listen to time eventually.
Yeah. One last one, and that'll be the end of the disclaimers. The disclaimers and other pronouncements. I'm going to give it to Vince. Let me switch.
You get that one?
Go.
Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people."
Mm-hmm. So let's get into some discussions. Well, let's see. We're good with that?
What does the media talk about all day?
Oh, they talk about people.
People.
Yeah. Small minds.
They got whole channels.
Well,
The
I would say
TMZ
people
shit's all
and
dedicated to
sometimes
that.
events,
Right.
but not so much lately.
Right.
I mean, there's, biggest event of our lifetime. Seems like we get one every couple months. Oh, it's the next biggest event of our lifetime.
Yeah, Biden's trying to create another big event with this.
It really is, but at a certain point, it's going to be like everyone
Yeah.
has to go to this,
Right.
or else we're all done.
Right, exactly. Kim's chiming in. She says she just joined. Hey, Kim. I picked out tonight
Hello.
number 55, which is that we have to do something. So this is a dangerous contemporary fallacy that in moments of crisis, one must do something, anything, at once, even if it is an overreaction. And it is totally ineffective or makes the situation worse rather than just sitting there. No, we have to do something. Even if it makes the situation worse, we've got to do something. Trudeau, you fucktard. Having to do something. The title of the theme for tonight's show is the Trucker Travesty. Peaceful truckers occupying Ottawa for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Have been brutalized and attacked. And I heard somebody in the locker room on my way out the other day, and I don't know if he was being serious. I think I was late to the locker room, and this was the conversation after the game. And he said at some point, he's like, "Oh, yeah, that's not even true. It's not even happening." And I said, "Dude, what are you fucking watching?" I've watched far too many videos.
Guarantee you didn't watch someone get trampled by a fucking horse.
I've watched far too many videos in the last 3 weeks, but specifically in the last week, of people being attacked and assaulted by the Canadian police. And it wasn't primarily the Ottawa police, even though the Ottawa chief of police was there, or said some stupid shit. But they brought a whole bunch of fucking police from out. I watched the videos on that. They're like, look, see these guys? See them in the brown shirts? See them in this and this and this? They don't fucking belong here. They're from other provinces. They had to bring them in.
I saw a video the other day that was people on the border of Ottawa at like a what is it? Car share?
Car share. Oh, park and ride?
Yeah, park and ride.
Yep.
UN trucks.
Yeah.
Like just outside Ottawa.
Sorry.
They're like, why the fuck are these trucks here? This doesn't make any sense unless they're, there's no need for them to be here.
Right. Well, one of the articles that I pulled up, and we'll get to it here shortly, but let me see where my thing is here. I want to see this one. Is it that one? Let's see here. DHS. I got a bunch of margarita stuff. It's pretty cool. Margarita. This one right here. And I will switch to laptop. There we go. Laptop. The D.C. National Guard scrambles to secure tow trucks for as the Freedom Convoy descends.
Fuck you. We didn't elect you and ask for that shit.
Washington, D.C. National Guard is ratcheting up preparations for the forthcoming trucker protest set to begin on Tuesday as a new group of roughly 1,000 truckers dubbed the People's Convoy makes its way to the national capital in protest of the COVID-19 mandates. That's the whole fucking thing. That's the whole thing that's being lost, is that they mandated shit, and people don't want to do it.
We can't go into Canada, and Canadians can't come here.
Right.
Because of they want them to get vaccinated.
It's ridiculous.
That's what the entire thing started upon. The supply chain problems were already there because they fucking locked everything down.
Yeah.
For something that, took a majority of people, for some reason, 2 whole fucking years to realize.
Well, we know this, that the most difficult part of the first 2 weeks to flatten the curve is the first 2 years. Duh. I mean, we're coming up on this will be 2 years here, 1st of March, right?
I will admit, okay, I bought into it for 2 days. And I said, no, this is completely and utterly bullshit.
Right?
Absolute bullshit. There is no crisis except the one that was manufactured.
Yeah.
So that they could seize control through the crisis.
The Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution.
So how do we dial that back? The Canadian truckers tried to do that via a peaceful means, and look what happened to them.
Well, my opinion is that what is happening, what Trudeau is doing, is going to backfire so horribly on them.
It's already backfiring. Everybody that
knows.
Sees what's going on sees that. And somebody called in today and said he didn't see a single cigarette butt, not even a cigarette butt on the ground.
Yeah. The city was the cleanest it's ever been because the people were policing themselves honorably. Here's the thing, and maybe this is a good, but when we think of
no butts,
when you think of Gandhi and you think of
Tiananmen Square
and the guy standing in front of the tank, when you think of Martin Luther King Jr., when you think of Jesus, we see those aspects in microcosms. We see those in micro events. I was just reading about Gandhi.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
Just take the System of a Down song.
Where they try to build a prison?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to build a prison.
He says, why don't you ask the guys at Tiananmen Square?
Right.
Was fashion the reason why they were there?
Yeah. To look stylish.
Yeah, were they there to buy clothes and shit?
Get some Gucci?
Stand in front of a tank just because they were there to buy clothes?
No.
Or was it something more than just what the image symbolized?
Exactly. And so...
and I think he was there to buy shit, and a bunch of tanks came rolling through. And he said, no, I'm on my way to go back home after I just bought a bunch of shit.
Right.
You're not going to fuck with me.
Or Kim says, or the guy that got the living shit beat out of him, she cussed in the chat. I really appreciate that.
Kim. I'm proud of you.
Very good, Kim.
What guys are you talking about? There are a few of them.
There's quite a few of them, but there was a couple guys. There was a guy in a ski slope that got assaulted by the police because he wasn't wearing a mask. Outside, fucking skiing.
Well, did everybody forget that
4
years after 9/11, they put all the shit in place not only did they do all the FEMA shit when Obama was in, that was 8 years of setting all that crap up.
Well, they had
finding all the different abandoned places.
The Patriot Act was
open land.
Was drafted and ready to go so they could sign it into law days after 9/11. It was a fucking setup all the way around.
Yeah.
If you don't know that shit.
Don't forget about that.
But
please.
Going back to this, what you were saying, Patrick, is, or what you were asking, what do we do? We look at Gandhi and Martin Luther King and a lot of these historical figures. We look at them from a micro concept or a very small window of time because we're reading it. I was just reading about Gandhi, I don't know, last month.
Microcosm?
Well, microcosm, but more of a very compressed timeline. That's the word. That's the phrase I'm looking for. We look at it through a very compressed timeline. When you go back and read specifically Gandhi's story, and you think, his phrase was, first they ignore you, then they attack you, and then you win, right? Well, that sounds like a very short aspect. When you realize Gandhi was in prison at time for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. He was in prison for a long time. I don't buy into all the politics of it, and I don't know all the stories. There's some things I'm still studying out about it. But if you just took the story of Nelson Mandela, okay, he was in prison for what, like 28 years? All right, hard labor and shit like that, and then he did hard labor at the beginning, and then he was in what do you call it, house arrest. No, he moved into a place of house arrest. It wasn't ideal, but it was still, but either way, before he was freed. But we look at, a lot of times we look at these things and we think of them in a very compressed timeline. And I go, I think that the truckers are going to prevail, absolutely. I think that I
don't think they're going anywhere.
I think that the oppression and the overstep, that's the thing. We have to do something.
Well, do we have any, realistically, do we have any estimation of how many people are actually out there?
It's thousands upon thousands.
Well,
I'm willing to bet there's at least 1 million people.
I don't know if a million people were in the city of Ottawa, but I believe that they had millions of supporters. You had what, 12 million, 13 million dollars come in?
Have you ever imagined, say, a semi-truck with your favorite kind of soda pop?
Yeah.
Have you ever imagined, man, I wish maybe that if that truck was like wide open and they were just giving it out, I'd go over there and grab like 1,000 of those. Imagine that, but the entire highway is like full of those trucks.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's such an abundance of supply in a way. There's complete sustainability.
Yeah. They had it set up and they were taking care of things. So to go back to your question statement, Patrick, I think that as we move through the time frame that we're in, we're going to see them prevail. Right now, in the midst of it, yeah, they're arresting people, they're throwing them in jail, they're brutalizing them, they're doing all sorts of stuff. We have people from January 6th.
But they're going to take the children to a more comfortable place.
Yeah. I think by this time next year, you're going to have seen a lot of things exposed and the January 6th people being exonerated and being liberated, because you're going to have a turnover. You're going to have a huge turnover in the 22 elections. The only way that they can't do a turnover is if they did what Trudeau's trying to do, which he effectively today became the dictator of Canada. Canada's fallen. He became the dictator of Canada, and you see that, but it's not going to last. It's like that stupid idiots over there in Seattle who did the CHOP and confiscated 6 blocks. And they let it go, and they let it go, and they let it go because they're a bunch of leftist retards and figured, well, people need to stretch, it's like, and then after a certain point, they're like, all right, we got to go take care of this. And what they do, they finally got their head out of their ass and arrested people and got them out of there. Okay? And that's a leftist city that finally woke up after how many ever weeks of occupation. Well, Canadians are known to be very pacifistic and very laid back, and just they're along the lines of Australians. What's the phrase in Australia? She'll be all right. She'll be all right.
Yeah, but
she'll be all right.
They're rugged,
be all right.
And they're tempered people.
Exactly. Don't
because they survive in the cold year long.
Don't misunderstand.
Almost all year.
Canadians' passivity and going along as weakness. It's anything but that. Don't mistake their kindness for weakness. They are some rugged, hardcore motherfuckers up there, and they're showing it. So I look at it as it may take us a little while because we're not looking at it from a compressed timeline, but we're going to prevail. The truth always comes out. The truth always prevails.
Yeah, but the truth came out with Hillary Clinton and what she did to Trump, and what the hell's that gotten us?
Well, we're only a week into that. Yeah. We're a week into that, to the Durham report coming up.
You think they're going to haul Hillary off in shackles? I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see it, and,
I think if it gets to that point, there's going to be... there's going to have to be...
All eyes are...
There's going to have to be a couple hundred more people that go down before she goes down.
Right. Well, and they're going to pass the buck.
They're going to go, you go down, you go down, you go down.
Right.
Every day for a whole year, they could say, we're taking another one down.
I kind of look at Hillary like along the lines of Hitler.
But they got to take...
Did Hitler stand trial?
People that are innocent and charged, wrongfully charged.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying is, you look at Hillary, or look at Hitler. Did Hitler stand trial in Nuremberg? No. But did everybody that he commanded or that were still alive stand trial? The vast majority of them did. Nuremberg trials. Yeah. And I was thanking God today for the Nazis because of the Nazis we have the Nuremberg Code, which is one of the defenses right now that you can't experiment on me. Yeah. That's an Achilles heel to this whole New World Order bullshit. Yeah. Is that we have a Nuremberg Code that you can't fucking inject me with shit.
Fuck you, Bill Gates.
Our Constitution should be strong enough, period. Yeah. But the fact that the Nuremberg Code is in there, and you go, look, these fucking people tried to do this back, in World War II, and I look at that and I go, okay, so I don't know if Hillary will stand trial because look at Hitler. Hitler shot himself, died in a bunker.
So is Hillary going to shoot herself and die in a bunker?
Well, we would hope so. But what I'm saying is that it may not reach all the way to Hillary, but she'll be done. She'll be done.
Well, she's already done.
She's done, but she'll be like done, like never. Your name will go down in history as one of the most evil, horrible people that's existed and tried to exploit humanity. Yeah. And so that's my opinion on it. Is I don't know if all of the of Bill Gates and Fauci will ultimately stand trial and then be executed. We'd love to see that because that's the ultimate form of justice. But the reality is, just like Hitler died, shot himself in a bunker and then his body was burned in a ditch covered in gasoline, you will meet your end. That's not. We always, as human beings, we do, and I wrestle with this too. We want that final, we want that justice. Talking with my friend Tony the last day or 2 days, he one of the questions he was asking is, where's the justice? And I said, you know what? We don't always see that justice in our life. It's like, what is justice when the dad confronts the man who raped and brutalized and murdered his daughter? Where's the justice in that? Yeah. When he's standing there and he's going to be executed, some dad says, no, I don't want him executed. I want him to rot in prison for the rest of his life, knowing that he's a human piece of garbage and what he did. Another father would say, no, I want him executed. I don't want him to take another breath. I want him done. Another father would say, I want him. I would pay the rest of the prisoners to attack him and brutalize him and give him a taste of his own medicine. And another father would come back and say, you know what? I have had to forgive him. And so, and I've I've reconciled with him. And I think that's the most dynamic or the most difficult for a lot of people to get their head around. Yeah. But what is justice for any of us? You know, those four parallels, those four concepts of I want you to die immediately, I want you to live forever and think about the shit you've done. That's what always boggles me is when somebody gets sentenced to, 15 consecutive life sentences or 20 life sentences, and they wouldn't. It's like they're dead by 250 years before they would ever finish their sentence. But it's the magnitude of those numbers that says to that person, society has judged, and a group of your peers have judged you to be that vile of a person that there is no hope for redemption. Like if we saw a glimmer of hope of redemption, it'd still be 250 years before you'd ever get a chance to act on it. Yeah. And then you come across the dad that says, I forgive him. And so to me, justice is always it has to be societal. We have to come to societal ideas, right? But it can also be very personal. Justice has to be very personal of how I handle it. Mm-hmm. Does that dad plead for the life of the one who brutalized him because that person, say they raped and murdered that daughter in this hypothetical thing, and then he goes to prison and figures out I was evil, but now I've changed, and the dad sees that, and I've watched documentaries on that where people have reconciled with people, that brutalized their family, whatever the dynamic was, whatever the actual situation was. And now they're corresponding with them and they're ministering to them. And you go, all right, those are unique situations. That doesn't happen every time, That's not, who was the guy in California, the Night Stalker with the pentagrams on his hand? What was that guy's name?
Manson?
No, the other,
Dahmer?
No.
That was Chicago.
Yeah, that was, Wisconsin. Anyway, the Night Stalker was, oh, that's great. Look at that. That's awesome. We're just having lots of fun tonight. You guys can't see that, but my computer just crashed. So that's why we switched to the streaming that we have so that I can still do switching and still be streaming and be on air, even though the laptop completely crashed. And look at that. Just as we go, we got another
stink bug.
Stupid stink bug. Grab one of the. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna shoot his ass off. This is not wanted, okay?
Stink bug.
We're gonna. Hopefully, we still have. I think we still had audio.
Unfortunately, that bug drank himself to death.
He did. There we go. We're back up and running. And let's see. We'll pull over here. But it's a dynamic question of what is justice, and we want to see Hillary. I would love to see Hillary, Fauci, Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, even Obama and the Bushes. I would love to see them held accountable for their actions. Yeah. We may not see that in their lifetime or ours. Yeah. But what matters to me more is not those icons or idols. Well, there we go. Whoa. What the heck was that? I don't know. Well, we're still up and running.
I think it's the humidity.
Think so?
It could be the wind.
Is it whipping out there?
Yeah. Sounds like the roof on the thing over there is about to come off.
It is. It's
whipping out there.
It's been a bit like tornado weather.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, it was a bit warm.
Who needs
warm
a
and then
shot?
frozen and then warm and then
shot?
frozen.
COVID shot.
Oh.
Who gets the COVID shot?
Oh.
COVID.
I'll take the second shot.
Second COVID shot.
Oh yeah. I've got my
I haven't
first
even
shot.
had the first, so
Well, hey.
Put me right
that
to the
might have
second
been one
one.
of the first COVID
Patrick gets
shots,
the first
but
shot.
if it goes through
So
the
this is the
dishwasher,
tequila for tonight. I had
Yes.
all of the app all of the stuff pulled up. The computer crashed, and now I have nothing. So you guys don't get to see. Oh, wait. Can I do it?
Can you pull it back up?
Yes. I restored all my pages.
Cool.
Look at that.
This is my brain.
I had a moment. So I will go to the laptop.
Okay,
Yes.
So the next round is going to be the flavored margaritas.
The flavored
I know
margaritas?
you want strawberry.
I would like the strawberry flavored margarita.
There's strawberry and original, which is lime.
I'll do whatever.
He
Do you
picked
have-
lime earlier.
Do you want lime?
He picked lime for me. I said I'd do
No, you want to do the strawberry? I'd do strawberry
If
with
you
me.
want strawberry, I can
Surprise me.
I think he wants strawberry and lime.
do
Well,
strawberry lime.
the strawberry is the strawberry lime. It's both. It is. Read the label.
It smells more strawberry.
It does smell strawberry, but it says strawberry and lime
It'll-
because you
it'll
can't
say-
have a margarita without the lime.
We'll do the lime one, I guess.
You'll do the lime
Let's
one?
give him the. Okay.
You didn't spell it.
I did
Do
not.
you want one?
As long as it doesn't have soda pop in it.
It does not.
Soda pop.
Soda.
Soda
Vanilla and
pop.
like
Soda.
Soda pop.
I shouldn't say soda pop. I mean pop.
Pop.
But it's
What about soda?
Because soda is like
Soda.
Yeah,
That's a New Jersey thing.
Soda?
It's
Too
soda.
wholesome.
Well, it's also
name.
it's also a little bit
It's
of
pop because we're from Michigan.
yeah.
no
it's-
because I'm
pop.
from the
Soda's
South,
too
and it's-
wholesome.
It's pop
Soda.
in the South
Pop.
too?
Yep.
Cool.
That's
well,
you know,
and
I see we have
Wisconsin,
all of
Minnesota can be a
soda's
bit of
like my
soda.
microbrew
You want some soda?
beer.
Soda.
From Minnesota.
Soda.
Is that your new one?
That is my new one.
Oh,
Yeah, we got guns
I
on the
didn't bring
table.
mine out.
It's a can plinker.
My bad.
It is a
I
can
didn't bring
clinker. But you know what? But one of the reasons I
Strawberry
really
lime.
wanted to get the 22. We got a couple of long rifles, but I wanted to get a pistol because
Strawberry?
Strawberry.
we really,
So 2 strawberries.
when you read about the 22
Yeah.
I'll do a lime
caliber,
with Patrick.
it's a pretty lethal because it's got enough velocity to go in, but then it bounces around and does some shit. All right, first, second.
That's why a
Coke shot.
25-06 is an awesome rifle.
Reach.
There you go.
All right, let's try this. This tequila.
I'm going to savor the flavor. What kind of tequila are we sucking down here?
I'm going to switch to it right now. This is the Libellula tequila.
Small batch.
So they do a small batch blend of Rispado and Blanco tequila from the highlands of
It's,
Jalisco.
smooth stuff.
So I wanted Tanya to do us a chilled batch on this because we're going to do, this is what Brighton Market, Tracy over Brighton Market wanted us to, or recommended us to do in our
Thank you,
margaritas.
Tracy.
Now, when you're doing margaritas
Good job.
and other things that are a mix drink, you don't necessarily do a high-end tequila or whatever it is. My buddy, we were out to eat after hockey, and my one buddy said he needed a scotch and soda. And he looked right at the waitress and he said, the cheapest fucking scotch you got. Because it's scotch and soda. You know? So he's not looking for the highest end scotch because he's complementing it with something else.
Right.
So it just needs to be, decent. And I don't know that there actually are some. I mean, what's the lowest end scotch you could really get?
Black Label, Cutty Sark.
Okay. So, I mean, those are what? $25, $30 a bottle?
Less.
Oh, they're less than that.
Yeah.
10.
Maybe
So
20.
20?
Yeah.
So you
$10
can
for
get
a
some.
pint.
I mean, it's when I think of like a really horrible thing, I think of like a, some of these vodkas that are like, for a pint or half pint is
Pop-off.
like Pop-Off's like a half pint for like $8.
Yeah.
Like my God, that's fucking rubbing alcohol. That's why.
No.
Don't do that.
There's Scores B Scotch. You can probably get a half gallon for about $20.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No.
Yeah. So, anyways, what Tracy recommended with this Libella Lua, she said this is a very good tequila, and I think we enjoyed that. I enjoyed that tequila. It was
I'm
good.
still enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
kinda,
Very good tequila, but it's not a expensive. It's not an expensive tequila if we were just doing tequila for shots. But I said I wanted to do a chilled shot of this before we do the margaritas, just to get a base sample taste of it. But I think we, I think we enjoyed that one.
Yes, we
I
did.
believe it's pronounced libellula.
How you want to do that?
Blah, 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 blah.
Libellula.
Libellula. So
Libellula.
every sip of
Blah, 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 blah.
Libellula.
tequila is an invitation to embrace life, to laugh with friends. Ha ha ha! Nobody laughed with me.
Yes.
It's fucked up.
Sure.
You know, salted or sugared?
So
I'll take sugared.
he's drinking this sweet shit. So he needs
Yes.
She gonna salt it with that.
That we're gonna salt it. Yeah. Oh, the assault gun down there.
We got the assault gun.
for bugs.
Yeah.
To laugh with friends, to wander, to take in the beauty of a sunset, a last-minute road trip, to live in the moment. So that's their idea. So they're a small batch company. It's good stuff. Now, what we're about to do is we're going to take that and we're going to blend it with Tres Agaves, an organic lime. Well, this is the organic lime, which we're going to... I don't think any of us are doing the lime. We're all doing the strawberry tonight,
No,
right?
I'm doing the lime.
2 lime, 2 strawberry.
Okay, so...
Hey.
Sugar rim? You want a sugar rim?
No, nothing.
Mixes. There we go. I do this. Okay, so we're going to do
Unfancy.
this one right here. We're going to do this one right here to start with. We're going to do the strawberry margarita, the organic. But these are organic. So what Tracy said over there is a lot of times, people pick the pre-mixed 1800, which we've had. That's a really good. A lot of their pre-mixes, and the reason I say a lot of theirs is, it's not just margaritas, but they've got a lot of premixes with the 1800s and the Jose Cuervos.
The problem with those premixes is I end up getting a little extra tipsy because I have a tendency to put more in.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just the mix, and then
I
Man,
remember
the mix is way overpowering.
Yep.
Need more alcohol.
I remember Big Matt being over here, and he just brought in one of the big jugs, and it was just his, you didn't bring it to share. He just brought in his jug.
Yeah.
And he was drinking that, and he doesn't drink a lot of the mixed drinks, the hard liquors.
Yeah.
I've seen him with it was surprising to me, because he's the beer guy. Like the Labatt, like bringing a 30-pack of Labatt Blue, and that's his pack.
Yeah.
But he came in with, one time he came in with the full jug of margarita mix.
Mm-hmm.
And another time he came in with these pink Whitneys. And he's like, this shit's actually fuck you up, man. I'm like, okay, buddy. But we're going to do this nice mix. So you saw the tequila we're doing. We're doing the strawberry margaritas. And
We're like all over the place today. We're talking about Canada and drinking Mexico.
We are. But they're both border connections.
Yeah.
And what the interesting thing about it is we talk about alcohol on the show, and we have fun, and we talk about different things. You got to realize, look, you got to take the time to enjoy life.
Yeah.
We've got to address the issues. We've got to do this. But it always reminds me of, and they're movies, I get it. But to me, I've watched so many depictions. Band of Brothers is a big one. There's one of the characters in Band of Brothers, and they're all based on true life stories. And they had a lot of the guys that lived consulted on the Band of Brothers. But one of the guys was just drank all the time. Like anytime he could get his hands on a drink, he was drinking. And there's guys that they just drove through fucking hell, and they get to a city and there's the spoils, and it may be a whole cellar full of wine, and they just pass that out around until they're just, wasted, because they need those releases. Well, we're not sitting here in the midst of a world war yet, but we still need to take moments to enjoy life and savor flavors, whether it's a fajita, a steak, a nice glass of bourbon, a nice glass of Di Serono, a tequila. We need to take times and just be human and relax, And we know there are extremes. We know that you can get into alcoholism, and we know that you can get into gluttony. We know there's all the way around. It always amazed me that the guy pointing his finger at the alcoholic, and he's 400 pounds, and you go, dude, the same thing he's dealing with, you're dealing with, is overindulgence. Just come back to a place of balance. And I always come back to Ecclesiastes, where he said, it's enough for a man to eat and drink and enjoy all the days of his life on this earth. One of the phrases says all the miserable days of his life, and I go, I don't know about the miserable days, but you know what? Sometimes we inflict ourselves with misery.
Yeah.
And it's enough for us to, at the end of the day, enjoy that life.
It's misery. It all exists in our mind.
Yeah.
So if we
Christmas
choose,
Day, 1914.
You still like that story, don't you?
That's why I brought it up last week.
Well, bring it up.
The Christmas truce. When everyone on the battlefield, at least in one location.
There was a couple different locations along the line, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't an isolated incident. Everyone just, it's Christmas. We all know it's Christmas.
Yep.
Why don't we stop fighting and, have a potluck?
They exchange gifts.
Exchange gifts. We'll do the whole shebang.
Right.
Completely traditional.
They had to get rid of that.
How's that? That's cool. And then the next day they were back to fighting.
Yeah.
Next day they're back to fighting. And what it tells you is that if every soldier wouldn't have been... See, that was
one of the first and only times in world history that something like that has ever happened. At least that's accounted for,
Right. And it's amazing that, I look at Trudeau right now being a total fucktwat. And he's exploiting the honor of thank you, Tim. Blessings to you, buddy.
Of the Canadians.
He's exploiting the honor of the Canadian truckers specifically, but the Canadian people, everybody supporting the Canadian truckers, he's exploiting that. Because the reality is they far outnumber them. And when I think of the Christmas truce, I think of the fact that if all of those people, not only on that Christmas truce...
Yeah, what if at the end of the day they just all decided to get up and leave?
Yeah, they just said, you know what, we're rejecting the whole notion that this is a justifiable war, and we're walking off the battlefield. But because they were honorable, noble people, they stayed and fought because they'd been told that this was a just war. And I look at the Canadian truckers and the Canadian people and I go, if they were not just and honorable, they would have done what Antifa and all these other people would have done. And they would have walked all over that city and tore it to shreds. And it would have been a Mussolini type thing where Justin Trudeau's hanging from a fucking flagpole, strung up. Now, on one hand, you kind of want that because these guys are fucking. I listen to these absolute fucking despots.
Would any of that have been on mainstream news?
No, they'd have painted it exactly the way they painted it. Those people could not have been more peaceful, more honoring to their cities, to their, to Ottawa, and yet they still painted them as horrible people. And you go, are you fucking kidding me? There isn't a cigarette butt on the streets. The cops were harassing the guys riding around in the side-by-sides that were picking up all the trash.
Yep.
They're harassing them. You're not wearing a helmet. You know what? Fuck you, eh? I'm picking up trash. And they still were being nice to the cops.
Then they went and got helmets, and then they told them, well, it doesn't have proper license plates on it, so you can't drive it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you go, what is it going to take for you people to wake the fuck up? So you've got useful idiots. Those are the people that enforce the bullshit. And then you've got the vast majority of people who are honorable who won't cross certain lines, even when they're being violated, even when they're being assaulted, even when they're being just brutalized. They won't cross these lines because they're honorable people. And then you've got this very small elite that are pulling the strings on all of it. And all of us have to wake up and go, you know what? I don't know when this is going to go hot. And I heard somebody call in today on one of the shows with InfoWars, and he said, you know what? I don't want to see this. He said, but I've been a soldier and I've been in war. And at some point it's going to turn kinetic.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps talking about peace and peace and peace. And he said, I get it, but at some point it's going to turn kinetic.
Yeah.
And we don't want to say that it's going to turn kinetic for the sake of warmongering like the fucking warmongers do, right? We want to say it's going to turn kinetic because if on President's Day you need to go gun shopping, then you go fucking gun shopping, you know? And you go and pick up a new gun. You know, you go pick up 2 new guns. I don't know how I ended up getting 2 guns.
Yes, you couldn't resist.
You know,
you needed another
I was
semi-automatic 9mm. And that little,
I needed a new 9mm
can flanker looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, look at that puppy. That's a beautiful little.
It is. Yeah.
But again, what's our preparation? What are we gearing up for? It doesn't mean it's inevitable. It doesn't mean it has to happen. But we need to be prepared. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking at is that there are far too many people that are.
Strawberry sugar rim.
Thank you, dear. There are people that
It's
are
sticky, so watch it.
I see it.
I had to hold it on with strawberry puree.
It's all good.
I know, right?
But thank you, sir. There are far too many people that are honorable and passive.
Thank you.
And are not going to
Lime
attack
margarita
first.
salt.
And even when they are attacked, we've seen the videos where they don't respond. But at a certain point, things are going to come to a head.
Yeah.
And we've got to know where I think, last week we talked about coming to a decision. And
They're stuck.
They're stuck in it.
No
Well,
problem.
that's one way to do it.
that's one way to do it. But we come into a decision where
So a man does it.
I'd have thought of that eventually. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
we say,
Well, suck
this
it
is
up,
where I
just
stand.
Smack it somewhere.
It's
And if this never happens, that's fine.
Yeah.
sticky as hell.
But this is where I stand if it does happen. Because, James chapter 1 talks about how a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And in the Greek, it means two-souled, double-souled.
You can
if
tell
you're
Justin Trudeau, he's a little boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's ridiculous. But if
That
we're...
guy's a little spoiled, rotten kid.
But if we...
They got this side by side with him and Fidel Castro.
Well, think of the... I just got sent it... My buddy Al sent me the meme, and I saw it earlier this week, of saying Trump knew, because there's a picture of Trump meeting with Trudeau somewhere at some big forum, and he won't shake his hand.
Yep.
And then there's a whole video of
Yeah, he probably took one look and said, "You're just a spoiled, rotten brat. I'm not gonna shake your
you're a
fucking
puppet.
hand."
And then there was a whole video of Trudeau being at the UN or something like that, and he's sitting next to, I think, the Chinese ambassador or Chinese president or something, and somebody else, and they literally both turn their back on him. They don't just ignore him; they turn their back on him. And you go, dude, you're a puppet, and I'm sorry that you are who you are, but you are a puppet.
Yep.
But my point is that
Charles Schwab.
Charles. No.
Schwab.
No, that's Klaus. Charles Schwab's the investment guy.
Klaus.
Klaus
Schwab.
Anal Schwab.
Yeah.
Wow. Ouch.
Anal Schwab. But it's a matter of coming back to it and realizing when it comes down to it, make your decision now where you'll stand. Are you going to stand on the side of freedom? You're going to stand on the side of truth and liberty for everyone? Or are you going to stand on the side of tyranny so that you can benefit from it? I think of the one guy in the Schindler's List, where he's policing all the other Jews. He's a Jew who's policing all the Jews, and they tell him he's a piece of shit. And a few months later, not very many scenes later in the movie, he's standing around the fire with the rest of them because he got thrown in the camp too, because they didn't need him to police his own people anymore. And I think about that and I go, you know what? Where are you at?
Yep.
Where are you at in your heart? You know what? You may not have to stand up today, but you may have to stand up one day. And you don't want to be double-minded about it. You don't want to be wavering about it. And you want to be steadfast in it. And if that day never comes, glory to God. We didn't have to go down that fucking
Thank
road,
God.
okay? But if that road does come, where are you going to stand? Well, I'm going to stand with defending the rights and freedoms. I didn't say anything, but as we were driving around today, we were listening to Alex Jones, and I had to say in my heart, you know what? If push came to shove, and Canada goes full kinetic, and there is a call up, I would go. I don't know what it would cost. Could ultimately cost my life, but I would go because those people deserve freedom.
What do you mean
now,
by
would I go?
call up?
Call up to arms.
Call up to arms to where the Canadian people go to war. I can't sit.
No,
our border's
I get
right
it.
here.
Yeah.
Yep, I get it.
The Ambassador Bridge is right
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
here.
It's like maybe an hour away.
It's an hour away.
Yeah,
and we're
maybe.
there.
Yeah.
Depends
Okay.
on how fast you're
60
driving.
miles.
I don't. Vince and I talked about driving down to the bridge and just videotaping or doing something, and I said I don't know if I want, but when it comes to
Yeah, that's going to be.
fighting
Should be
for
able to
somebody
find
else's
some
freedom,
stock
I'm going to
Do I
be
wanna
carrying
run-
with around in the chamber.
do I want to rush headlong
Yeah,
into
for sure.
into a violent conflict? No.
No,
Yeah, would you rather
But if
go-
the
not
violent,
if you can help it.
but the reality is, if it happens here, here's the case in point. If I was living down in New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Texas, would I be like most of those people down there who openly carry their weapons and are ready to defend their border?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'd rather carry it openly.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is the
Trying
majority
to
of the,
find something to put it in so that I can conceal it has
Yeah.
turned out to be a royal pain in the ass.
But what I'm saying is the majority of those people down there are ready at a moment's notice if they need to defend that border that they are looking at every day.
Yeah, you drive around with their pickup truck in this in the back
Yeah.
window.
Exactly.
It-
And that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. If it goes kinetic,
sometimes more than one.
if it goes kinetic with Canada, I don't, and there is not an opportunity but a necessity to become involved.
Yeah.
I don't know how we could sit back. I mean, we're in Michigan, okay? We're connected
I think if it ever
to
gets,
Canada
if
four
it gets to
different.
that point where they're just mowing people down,
I think, yeah,
I think that
They are mowing people
every other
down.
country that
Yeah,
plans
I
on
Mowing down a
doing
little
they
that.
old
are.
lady with a horse.
right. But
Yeah, but I'm saying when they pull out machine guns and just lay into
Right.
crowds,
Yeah.
Right.
at that point, I think every other country that has the same agenda is going to do the exact same thing.
correct.
As soon as it hits the media,
Yeah.
they mowed down a bunch of people,
Yeah.
even if they lie about it. Oh, cops had to disperse the crowd. They were too violent. Whatever it may be.
Well, that's when your
Right.
militia has to come into play.
Australia,
Exactly.
probably going to pull the same thing.
Well, again, I come back. Let's do it. Let's lighten it up a little bit and let's do a
Okay.
cheers here. So margaritas
Yeah.
Margaritas.
on Margarita Day. There's a lot of goofy days out there that they classify. I don't know if there's
Why
a
not?
fucking cat day or whatever. But
What?
Patrick, we
Margarita
didn't-
Day, I'll take it.
we didn't
I know
touch.
I didn't touch Jeremy's, but that's okay.
No, it was in the mix.
It was like ting,
all
ting,
good.
ting, ting.
I'll take the
ting,
Margarita Day.
Right?
Yeah. I might have to get an ice cube and throw it in there.
Chill it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think so. I would do that. I wanted.
Do you want some ice? I
Yeah.
can bring
I
some
want
ice.
some crush ice.
Bring some ice and the bottle of tequila
Tastes like a daiquiri.
So we
Oh,
can
he's,
just-
Oh, now
he's
you're
doing another
getting
shot.
picky.
No.
so we can display it and drink it.
Oh yeah,
Tastes almost like a daiquiri.
yeah. It does taste a little bit like a daiquiri.
Like a daiquiri.
A daiquiri.
Daiquiri.
I'm more along the lines of a daiquiri than I am a margarita. Margarita is a little bit too.
Yeah, we use raw
Acidic for me.
strawberries.
Yeah.
Raw
Yeah.
frozen strawberries.
Right.
Oh, that sounds good.
For the
Fruit wrap.
daiquiris. I used to, when they were kids, I would make the virgin daiquiris for the kids. It was one of the nightly things. Make a couple big
Daiquiri in
bags
a
of
wine
popcorn.
glass.
Couple big. No, I used to have those big. Remember those big round glasses? They were.
Yeah, but
They were actually like a margarita glass, but they had the
whoever
big.
got the wine glass
thick-
was cooler.
Yeah, because we didn't have enough.
Yeah.
We always had enough daiquiri mix. We didn't always have enough glasses. But that's what the kids grew up on for years. Is we'd make a big.
Daiquiris?
I
for
would
the
make
kids?
the virgin. Well, I'd make virgin daiquiris.
The Vergery daiquiris.
Virgin daiquiris. I'd make the virgin daiquiris for the kids, and actually, I would do the virgin daiquiris. I would order strawberry virgin daiquiri in the restaurant for the longest time, and then I realized I didn't like the rum. But if I got a daiquiri, strawberry daiquiri with vodka,
Vodka, yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. So then I started ordering with. I was like, you know what? I'll take a daiquiri, but with vodka. And they would go, really, vodka? And I'm like, yeah. do it with vodka, and then we'd come back.
Yeah.
When Tanya and I
That's
went
what
on
I asked for.
When Tanya and I went on the cruise, I would walk up there and I go, I need a strawberry daiquiri with vodka. And they go, oh. And I go, preferably like a Ciroc or a Belvedere or what's the other one? What's the other big one that's good like that? Ciroc, Belvedere.
Smirnoff?
No.
No? Grey Goose?
Grey Goose. That is Grey Goose. Grey Goose, Ciroc, Belvedere. Those are a good high-end mixer, you know.
I did
Kettle
not
One.
drink
It's I like Kettle One.
Kettle One, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Did you crack the glass?
I did. I
That's
broke
those
one
two
of them
squeeze.
earlier.
That's good.
That one's
Two
pretty
Patricks.
big.
Crack the plastic.
That's all I needed.
It Baroque.
So I what I'm saying about all this is I don't expect, or I would hope not to have to do that.
Yeah.
But I realize I live in Michigan, and we
That's
have
awesome.
we have at least 4 points of contact: the Blue Water Bridge, the Ambassador Bridge, Sault Ste. Marie, and
Thank you.
not too far from where my family grew up in Ironwood.
Sault
Is-
Ste. Marie, you can
is-
almost spit to it.
Is Ironwood, Michigan, and Hurley, Wisconsin. You can drive within 20 minutes, and you could be at the corner of Wisconsin and Canada. It's just
Take a
a
little bit.
short little thing, okay?
Yeah.
Whoops.
And so what I look at it is this is not Iraq, okay? This is not Afghanistan. This is not fucking Kuwait around the world. This is on our doorstep.
Yeah.
And if I lived down in if I lived in Texas, you're damn sure I would be ready at a moment's notice to defend the Border Patrol, ICE, if called upon. I mean, that's a heritage of our country that's been lost, is to where you could be deputized at any moment to stand with the sheriff and defend your area.
Yeah.
I just read about the history. I read the history of the day every morning, and some of the articles I skip because they can be bullshit political things. I mean, they're actually historical events, but they're couching them in, in 2021 this happened. Fuck you, you know. But one of the ones that just happened was the Alamo, the historical
If you pay attention to
Alamo
history,
was just like last week.
everything that's happening today has happened somewhere else in history. Maybe not the same technology or the same circumstances, but it has happened before. Because when the world
History
falls
repeats
into
itself,
an evil pattern,
Yeah,
history will repeat itself. And so far, it's been every 80 years,
roughly.
give or take a few years.
Yeah.
About
Yep.
80 years every single time.
Yep.
World War I, World War II,
Well, that was a
whatever's
little
going to
quicker.
happen now.
So what was happening 80 years ago?
Well, it's always
World War II,
yeah. Well, and before that you had the Civil War.
be the 1940s, 80 years ago.
So 1860, 1940s, 2020. You're going to have these situations that happen every approximately 80 years. That's what was interesting. We'll get into it in a minute. I want to get your opinion on that, having, knowing your background. But
Yeah, I was going to ask if you heard about that.
he
'cause
did.
I just heard about it today.
Yeah, the 2222 and the
And the first time I saw that, I was like, huh,
I'll pull that up.
there's got to be something significant about, the date today. 2222022222222222
Well,
Tuesday 2222.
the headline on InfoWars is this. Is the Pluto's return and the rebirth of individual freedom. Now, the interesting thing was, again, this is what we were talking about earlier, or what I was bringing up earlier, is this idea of the narrow, the compressed timeline. When we look at historical figures and we weren't there, we see it from a compressed timeline. So it looks to us like, Gandhi resisted and he did this and he did this. No, from the time that he went and made salt and did this, he spent a couple years in jail and then he got out. And it's amazing that Gandhi achieved what he wanted to achieve, but it was right at the end of his life because he was shortly assassinated after they gained independence, you know? And I look at this right here, Pluto's Return, the Rebirth of the Individual Freedom, and when I was listening to Alex on InfoWars, he said 222, the 222, 20222, but this date signifies a start of a 2-year period. And it's the first time it's happened since 1776. That was the last time that
240 years.
Yeah. And 240 years divided by 3 is 80. So you've got 3 cycles of 80. There's a significance there.
Well, if you do the math, that equals 12, and 1 and 2 is 3. And 3s are about moving forward. It also signifies the ending of a era, but a beginning of a new era.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
and I think that's what people are afraid of is we don't want the old era to go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well
we have
but also at the same time, we don't want this new shit that we're being fed.
I believe, and you guys tell me what you think, but I believe that every time there's a beginning of a new era, rightly so, what you just said, Patrick, that these dates signify the beginning of new eras and new ideas, is that every time, just like Pharaoh was trying to kill off the firstborns of Israel, God raised up a deliverer. Just as Jesus was prophesied, and not Pilate.
Pontius Pilate.
No. I said Pilate. Now it's stuck in my head. That guy. Anyways, the guy that killed off all the babies in Israel from 2 years older. It'll come to me in a second. But
there it is.
Thank you.
Obviously
But
that's not
those
the-
guys,
I couldn't
every
get it
time
back
there's
in.
a significant time frame, and I don't go overboard on numerology, but I pay attention to it. But every time, what you just said, every time there's the number 3 is renewal. Every time there's a significance of an opportunity for things to change. What I see is these elites and these people that are trying to control the world step in and try to manipulate that for their own ends. But what I've seen, what I'm encouraged by, when I look at stuff like this from a big picture, is that every time we've seen in the last 300 years, every time we've seen despotism try to rise, freedom emerges. It takes a struggle. It takes a battle. It takes bloodshed. It takes, really some hardcore shit. But on the other side of it, what emerges is a greater sense of freedom. 1776 was a phenomenal. Well, that was the declaration of it, but the freedom that came out of the Revolutionary War, beautiful. I mean, we've never seen that amount of freedom to where here is a government of an entire nation proclaiming that the will of the people is sovereign above any king or anybody that you say is somehow divinely appointed. No, it declared that every person was divinely appointed. And people miss that when they read, well, no, it said, man, don't give me your shit. Mankind, okay? That we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. It was all mankind. They didn't say mankind because that wasn't the vernacular of the day. All men. But they held all people in regard. Go back and read the Founding Fathers' discords with their wife. They held their wives' opinions about civic and social. Get some, Patrick. Civic and
It's a wine bottle. Stop her.
and political duties in high regard.
Didn't really look like it belonged on the top of a tequila bottle.
It
Looks a little
doesn't,
too
but I couldn't
frilly
get
for
the
that.
other
But
one.
Is that like a? It's like a lily pad leaf, isn't
it's
it?
a lily pad leaf. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something a
I was
frog
hoping like
would
it was like
jump up and
because the
sit on.
agave leaves are like more. The agave leaves aren't they close to like a? Look more like an aloe vera.
Cactus. Yeah.
Yeah, they're more like a.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I was saying is I don't follow as much of the numerology, but I'm intrigued by it. I like it because there's some significance. What I'm looking at is my encouragement is I'm expecting to see whatever struggle we have to go through. And that's why I look at Canada and go, you know what, if push comes to shove and Canada is at, Canada, if
can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
The other thing he said is, even if you don't pay attention to, astronomical events or the calendar or, all these things, the evil people in charge of running our lives, they fucking worship this shit.
Yeah.
Like 24/7. They believe that they're getting higher influence is telling them shit. Just like
they study the Bible more than
everything
we do.
in the 60s. They said you'll get, enlightenment from all these other beings if you just take these drugs. Well, they're like head first diving into this shit. Yeah. And even if you don't think it's significant, the fact that they do, just tells
Makes
you
you
that
pay attention.
Yeah.
You need to at least know why they're into it so much.
Right.
Well, the other thing I have to talk about on this around the numerology is that twos signify decisions. It's a decision. It's this way or this way.
Right. That's the two.
Two.
Yes or no, right or wrong.
Yep.
Good or evil.
It's, as you were saying before, you have to make a decision. We're at a point where we have to make a decision. What side of history are you on, number one? And are you going to sit on your ass and do nothing, or are you going to get engaged and become active either politically or whatever? Or
politically, or at least just your voice, I often wonder, I say, should I do more? And we've talked about some things that we're going to do in our community as the election is looming. Should I do more? Should I do this? Should I do that? No, you know what I look at? Being who I am, being outspoken. They were, my buddy Chicago as part of the band, he was making jokes apparently in the locker room, and he filled me in after hockey when we were at the bar later, at the restaurant later. He said, you were running late, and he said, so this whole political discussion came about in the locker room, and everybody's talking and saying this and saying that and saying this, and he says, and he said, so I had to pipe up and say, God, thank God Jeremy's not in here. We'd really be having a discussion, And I went, well, I'm glad you guys could carry on without me. But, because they know that I'm not I'm not unbalanced. And two, I'm not unstudied. I study. I try to balance my opinion and my observations. But they know above all I'm passionate, and I'm trying. And my focus is freedom for everybody. And they know I'm outspoken. Yeah. And I go, how much more do I need to do? Well, we're doing our podcast. We're doing other things. When we're walking in the streets, when we say things, we wear. I've worn certain T-shirts, and people go, dude, that I love that T-shirt. I love this or I love that. Whatever it is. But we had some great conversation with people in Dunham's. I've had people, all sorts of. So you choose your opportunities, because not all of us are. Well, even if we are called to be national, I listen to Alex Jones, and I listen to Owen Schroyer and Harrison Smith and Steven Crowder and these guys, and what I pay attention to a lot of times is their retelling of a story of their interaction with normal everyday people on the street. Alex Jones he took his daughters to Kalahari, to the water park a few weeks back, and he's like, people just kept coming up and engaging in conversations, and so he's talking to them. That, to me, your national, your worldwide persona, whatever it is.
He said there were about 200 people.
Yeah.
That came up and said, hey, man, I love you, man. Where do we find you at?
Right. And what I'm saying is,
on the air?
That notoriety, that public persona, if it doesn't come down to that grassroots engagement, then it's superficial and it's bullshit. But the fact that you come back to that grassroots on a regular basis, that's what gives it meaning. And that's what I mean. That's what I look at as, what am I really doing to reach my fellow man? Well, one, I'm loving on him. I'm letting time make more converts than reason. But when I'm asked, when the discussion comes up, I temper my observations and my opinions, but I share. And they know that about me. I'm going to be balanced. I'm the first guy that'll go, hey, but did you guys think about this, you know? When they would say, oh, Trump was just his fucking tweets. If he'd have just laid off his tweets, I'm like, here are a bunch of people that no matter what he did would call him a Nazi. And you think that if he'd have laid off the tweets, and here's a guy who's being attacked before he got into office and called everything and vilified. Do you think you could withstand that type of onslaught?
Collusion.
Yeah, do you think that you guys could have withstood the media and onslaught and the personal attacks on his family?
Still happening now. Isn't it?
24/7.
Still.
24/7. Do you think that you could not throw out a mean tweet now and then?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
I would resort to some very childish responses. And I go, look, guys,
You know what
he's
I would
human
do?
just like you.
If I was
Yeah.
Trump right now,
Don't-
you know what I would do? I would do everything in my power to stay absolutely, completely, 1,000% focused on the legal battles that I needed to do
Right?
and the information and evidence that I needed to gather to put all these people away.
Absolutely. Let's
That's
catch up
That's
on...
what I'd be doing.
That's,
But even when doing that, I would have at least 2 minutes to send out a mean tweet.
I would send out a mean tweet.
Just
I'd say,
me.
fuck you. All right, let's catch up on chat, because the guys have been saying some good stuff, and we got to catch up on it. Let's go back to Aeroblade just before the blessings, y'all. Vince? Fun fact?
Fun fact, Australians who hold a gun license has fallen by half since 1997, but average 4 for each licensed gun owner.
So, Australians
Damn, I'm behind.
who hold a gun license have fallen by
I have
half,
2.
but the average of 4 for each license. So gun licensees has gone half, but the amount of guns that the guys who have licenses
Doubled.
has quadrupled.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. I didn't know Australia. I'm
You know, how many
pretty sure
guns
they
do you have?
confiscated there.
Say
Okay.
we have 10 people
I'm
in the
surprised
room,
they let
and
'em
each
have
person
'em.
has one gun. Right?
What's-
That would be 100%.
What's the
Right.
next one?
Now
What-
take one of those people and say he has 15 guns. What would that be per person?
Just mix it
300%?
all up.
Well, he said without Googling it, what would you guess is the U.S. licensed gun owners has done the same time?
I'd say times 13.
Well, he says it down later. He says
13 times gun
U.S.
ownership.
gun owners has dropped by only 3% from 45 to 42, but in that time, 22% of U.S. gun owners have just the one.
Just the one gun, but the rest average 5 guns.
Yeah, there's been an explosion of gun purchases in
Yeah.
America.
Yes, there is. So I don't know
And,
about that. Anything dropping here.
Yeah,
And-
it seems
yeah.
like you hear, oh my God, gun sales are through the roof, and then you don't hear about it until the next time. Oh my God, gun sales are through the roof because of this such and such incident, and then you don't hear about it.
Honestly, we're the only country in the world that has a bona fide law, our Second Amendment, that not only.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a law. I would say that it's a
Well, let me explain.
it's a fundamental restriction.
Correct. Not only
On,
is it
on
is it
every
is it,
government entity.
yeah, not only is it the books that we own weapons of self-defense, but it is literally a shall not be infringed. It's a shall not be infringed statute of not only are you not granting this to me or giving this to me. This is something that we hold to be
They
self-evident and
infringe
true.
every single step,
Every fucking thing.
every point in the
I've s-
contract.
I've said
is
it on the show.
infringed.
I think everybody should be allowed to own firearms, and we will weed out the fucktards real quick.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Give them.
All they have to do
you know
is
what?
I
step
was
out of
thinking that
line
when-
once,
when
and
we
it ain't
first
going to
started.
happen again.
One of
Right
the
after I read that Second Amendment, I was thinking, man, could you honestly, truthfully imagine every single American with a gun in their hand?
Oh, some of them I wouldn't want them to have it.
No, you wouldn't want them to have it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Could you
would,
honestly imagine every single person in America
But if you had everybody
with a gun?
armed and
Because
at least trained.
Every rational person
there's
that
a key,
tries to pull that
That's
trigger,
the key.
they're going to be
You're
gone in
trained.
about 2 seconds.
If you know how to use it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well,
if you just have a gun in your hand and you're scared half to death because you're holding this gun
All
and
right.
you have no idea what to do,
so let's take this
that's
down.
not a good thing.
But let's take this down the logical road.
You're either going to think, all right, I'm not going to shoot anybody. Or you're going to think, I'm an irrational homicidal maniac and I'm going to shoot everybody.
Yeah,
Problem is the irrational
scary,
homicidal
right?
maniac is already shooting everybody.
pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. But he's
But not
he's
with
down in
registered
about
guns.
2 seconds because everyone else has a gun.
Exactly. I would rather have the vast majority. I lean towards a conscription type of thing. Not only I go the other way with the Second Amendment and say, not only is it something that shall not be infringed, but I think you should be required.
Mandatory.
It should
Yeah.
be mandatory
Mandate
and required
Second
that you at
Amendment.
least. You're
Let's
exactly
make
right.
that sign.
Yeah.
Mandate Second Amendment.
Well, I don't. What I'm saying. Let me couch this. I want to say it should be at least mandated. If we're going to mandate anything, not this fucking mRNA bullshit, but if we're going to mandate anything, we're going to mandate that you make a choice. No, I will go keep my name on a victim list. Okay, all right. You're mandated to make the choice to stay on a victim list, or at least take 3 levels of training: civilian, state, or military. And you choose the level of training that you want. I would go for military. I would whatever the boot camp they set up for 8-12 weeks.
I would say
I would sign up for it.
Give me a
12.
Some people may just want to
give me
do
a
a civilian,
4-month
so they do.
tour to train everything military combat style,
Right, and then go back home.
long range, medium range, long,
And just that's what
close
our
range,
National Guard was supposed
everything.
to be. Our National Guard is supposed to be those that are called up to serve in the military when it becomes necessary, and our borders are
Yeah, but it's going to be
threatened.
not
is
to
it
be
going to be
stationed.
National Guard and military for or against us?
I don't. You know what? They had to pull probably UN troops, but they had to pull a
would
lot
say that
of
every
people from other
individual
provinces
choice.
to attack the people in Ottawa, because the people that
You're
live there in
talking
Ottawa.
Canada, those were UN. From what the reports I was hearing, they were.
Yeah.
I don't
UN
believe
troops.
that other provinces would come into Ottawa and be
Well,
such
some of the
assholes.
reports I heard was they were guys on the ground. They're going, look, they're wearing brown uniforms. That's from this province. Now, whether they were legitimately from their province,
Or they were disguised as.
either way, you can't bring in.
Sometimes you just don't know.
You can't bring in European troops that don't speak the language and have them present themselves as Canadians. They'll smell that shit out. So they had to at least be
anyone who's
native.
going in there with violent motives,
Yeah.
they know full well, have made a conscious choice. I agree with what Alex said. They have made a conscious choice to side with evil. And
Right.
and to follow these orders that they've been given.
Absolutely. So Tim's saying he wouldn't want every American to have a green safety Walmart box knife in their hip, let alone a lethal weapon. Well, I'll disagree with you, because the standpoint is, if you arm everybody, now we have an equal playing field. If you arm one fucking militant idiot with an AR-15 who can walk into a gun-free zone, who is the most powerful in that situation? The AR-15 idiot. So if everyone has an AR-15 at their disposal, at their ready, or a 9mm or a concealed carry,
Dude, even
or
if you
a
had
gun,
one single shot.
it's an even playing field. Right now we're at a disadvantage because I was just going to bring up this. I can't stand her. She is one of the most demonic people that I've seen, above Fauci, above some of these other people. That fucking demonic bitch in Chicago, and I try not to hate individual people,
Lightfoot.
but Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, she's not demonic because she looks like fucking Admiral Akbar. She's demonic because her speech of, we will find you, we will cite you, and if need be, we will arrest you. And she's talking about fucking mask mandates and vaccine bullshit. She's going to arrest people. Do you know how many fucking people die in her city every fucking week from gun violence, black on black gun violence? And she's going to stand there with some righteous indignation that she's going to arrest people for not wearing masks? Fuck you, lady. That's how I feel about that. You are a demonic bitch. And I can't stand her. Every time I hear her fucking voice, it's like, you're an evil person. You want to arrest people who don't want to wear a fucking mask in a fake pandemic, but you're going to let other people just murder each other in the streets. East Chicago is a fucking war zone right now in this country. Right now. There's no
Hasn't it been that way
debate.
for a long time.
There are an average 40 to 60 people murdered in East Chicago every week.
Yep.
Little kids.
Yep.
And she's going to come out and stand on a podium and act like she has any righteous, moral standing to say we're going to arrest you for not wearing a mask and conforming to COVID lockdown mandates? Fuck you, lady. That's why I get to swear on my show.
So let me ask you this.
Cuss on my show.
At what point, what do they have to say? What order do they have to give for people to physically take action against these things? I'm saying, when do people have to physically take matters into their own hands?
People don't generally take action until it comes to their front door.
Do we have to wait till these government officials physically murder someone on television?
It comes to your front door.
Do they have to take someone's life on live
has to at
television
least come to your
for
front
people to
yard.
get this through?
Yeah.
You know what?
Through their heads?
Comes to your yard, you might do something.
Looking at Canada,
But otherwise,
they
not
are
so much.
an honorable people, and they're not going to strike first. They're not going to strike back. They're going to be oppressed and oppressed and oppressed. I mean, look at how.
I do
look
think
at how.
to a certain extent, the nonviolent.
I gotta believe there's a
We
couple.
can stay within our rights until they start mowing people down.
I gotta believe there's a couple Timothy McVeighs up there in Canada who's gonna pack a fertilizer bomb in front of Trudeau's place and blow the place up.
Well,
It's gonna happen.
I would say more of along the lines of a less Timothy McVeigh, because he
I
was
can see
quite.
them faking a bunch of shit.
He was quite
before
MK
anything
Ultra, but I know what
real
you're saying.
happens.
I understand what you're saying. Somebody who says enough is enough. But the interesting thing is that's the last thing that everybody up there is calling for.
Yeah.
They're all calling for continue to be peaceful.
Yeah.
And that is the Martin Luther King Jr. Gandhi line of pacifistic
But how far
civil
do you go with
disobedience.
being peaceful when you see your grandma getting mowed over by a bunch of horses?
Dude, when
Again.
I saw that,
no.
Just makes
you
you
know what
want
I
to.
thought?
70-year-old
I said,
guy
man, I
getting-
wish I was in that crowd
Yeah,
with my concealed carry.
because lead would have flown.
Because I would have jumped on that horse and stuck it in that guy's face.
Yeah.
But again, that's the situation. We're not those type of people. Meaning
Yeah,
we're
and
not.
Even
We're not.
even if someone did that in
I-
a given situation,
I understand
the crowd
that.
would pull them apart
Look at.
and
Look
say,
at.
you know what, you need to just go back. Fuck off.
You got people in D.C. on video saying it's come out that Ashley Babbitt, who was murdered by that fucking cop on January 6th, was in the video has now come out that she's in the crowd saying, "Don't break the glass. Stop. We need to stop. Don't break the glass. Do not be violent." She's fucking saying it. And they fucking murdered her.
Yeah.
They murdered her.
Yeah.
Pelosi has blood all over her.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's what I'm
She's
saying.
Swimming in it.
I don't know where that point comes from. I don't know when it happens. Okay? But that's what they want. They want those flashpoints because then it's the justification. This is going to blow up so horribly in their face like a bomb because they did what our thing is tonight. Doing something. Well, we have to do something. Well, Trudeau stepped out and declared full-blown martial law and declared himself a dictator over fucking Canada. You know what? How that's going to turn out? Trudeau's done.
Not very well.
Trudeau's fucking done.
Yeah, so
it may take 6 months, a year. That guy's fucking done.
And so they're going to string him up to the lamppost when he's out of there. I mean, I'd like to
String
see
him up
that.
by his toenails.
Well,
So now that he's done, what about the people controlling him?
I think
What happens to them?
Again, I go back to what we said earlier tonight is Hitler was never held accountable.
Because of
He
history
died in a
repeats
gas-
itself, he goes down
He's a puppet.
as a scapegoat,
Right.
and all the real controllers behind the fucking movie screen,
Get
whatever
away
you want to call
scot-free.
it, behind the veil,
Behind the curtain.
they all get away and make billions and billions more dollars.
Well, read that, what Tim's saying. I read it first and then read it out loud. I get this idea. And what I said earlier was, and he's addressing this, is that everybody's trained, or the people that are trained. Here's the thing. You level the playing field. Listen, if I put up a sign, actually there's our signs outside the man
That's a
cave
good comment.
that say, this place, we carry weapons.
Good comment, Tim.
Not only that,
Lawfully.
there's a sticker out there now that says you are fully authorized if you are concealed carry trained to carry your weapon in this facility. We welcome it. You're fully trained? Come on in with your weapon on you.
Where's that?
All right, in the store.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
I would say even going back to the
Is it
whole
Castle
training
Law?
thing.
Is that what it's called? Castle Law?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have CPL, concealed carry is welcomed on this premises. Not only do we welcome it, but we encourage that.